Hi, I'm live. I hope that you can hear me. I'm in the house this time. So I'm gonna let everybody trickle in. For those of you guys that are not watching this live, unfortunately, I'm sorry, it's gonna be a nightmare the way all live shows are. I am sitting on my floor. It's early in the morning. I'm getting ready for work. I'm gonna let a couple people more. Oh, hi, original worker of art. Welcome to the room. Hey, faux fashionista. Hey, sissy. Hi, Amy. Jolie, welcome. Okay. Can you hear me? Hi, Tiana. Hi, Crystal, Clementine, Elizabeth. Can you guys tell me if the audio is good? Okay, perfect. All right, so I know that it said last night that the season or the season premiere of 90 Day Before the 90 Days aired, but I don't believe it. It said it was supposed to air on the 23rd on Sunday. So I feel like what we got last night was a sneak peek because my DVR didn't record it. Oh, Righteous and Ratchet is on right now? I love them. Good morning, Lily. Sorry, I have water and the seeds from the lemon keep coming up through the straw, and so I'm having to spit them out. So that's what's happening. All right, so let's talk about this season now that we're 2 minutes in. I'm gonna be putting on makeup, getting ready for work, so I'll be looking down because this is where my makeup bag is. All right, I dyed my hair, or I put like a wax coating of color on my hair and then braided it down, or flat twisted it down. So, anywho. All right, let's get started with Julianna and Michael. All right, so with Julianna and Michael, it was a really good reunion. I mean, I was so happy when Max and Cece came on stage that my face was hurting from smiling so much. So let's start at the beginning. Sean Robinson is there, and she is... why does Sean not ask those pertinent questions? But anyways, she doesn't like the awkward moments, and so doesn't dig deep and go into the questions. Now, I'm not saying that if I were her, I would love the awkward moments either. I don't know what it's like to sit on stage and have people like blankly stare at you and not respond to your questions, so maybe you do want to move on. But sometimes I just wish that Sean would be a little bit more like, nah, don't let them get away with it. Let them answer your question. Make them answer your question. So Julianna and Michael. So she asked Julianna about the situation with her family. And Julianna basically says that her family, they don't mess with her anymore. That they kind of feel that when she got to the Americas and didn't pay homage to them like she should have, that they're just kind of not into her. I figure from their perspective, they think she's like being bougie or forgetting where she comes from. And so they're not messing with her anymore, acting like, you know, she doesn't care for us, when she basically says that hi, welcome. Me, not me. She basically says that she used all of the money that she got from Michael on them. And that she doesn't understand why they don't mess with her, like why they don't reach out to her, why they don't contact her. And I was watching some other people talk about 90 Day Fiancé, and I was really surprised at how other recappers were unforgiving of Julianna, basically saying that she's trifling for not wanting her family to see the luxury that she's in, or that like something is wrong with her. And I just think it's because this person really doesn't understand that like foreign family can be like that. They truly do not understand. They truly believe that once you are in America, you're like Scrooge McDuck swimming in your coins. You know what I'm saying? Like just like swimming around in your vault of diamonds and coins. They don't understand that the money that you get here is hard won and that most Americans live off of credit. Even if they don't want to, usually they have to. I mean, it's very rare. I mean, I know people do it, but it's very rare that people just like, when you have a nice car, you don't go and drop 25,000 on a car, right? You pay a monthly payment for 6 years, and that's basically credit, right? Somebody has purchased that car, that loan for you, that car for you, and you're paying it off. The same thing with your house. Sometimes people do the same thing with furniture. You know, so it really is a disadvantage for us to assume as Americans that she just kind of threw her family by the wayside. Like, I honestly believe that she feels this way. She feels that it has to be a combination of hiding her life from them because then they're going to want more, and like still showing them the love and respect. But it's hard to when they expect that love and respect to come with gifts and money. And you know, how much more can she give of money that isn't her own? So she's crying and upset about it because she says they don't understand how she feels. And I get it. I understand how she feels. I don't have a mirror in front of me, and you know, how is one supposed to do their makeup without a mirror? She didn't think this through. So anyways, Michael talks about how he lost friends and family over Julianna as well, which I find very shocking because I'm like, I could see if he lost friends and family over Julianna if Sarah had an issue with it, if Sarah and the kids were upset about it. But the fact that Sarah and the kids are not, like, what does your best friend have to do with anything? Like, why would your best friend feel betrayed or like not be your friend anymore? So that was interesting when Michael said that. Then we had Julianna always comes with the looks, and I love the fact that she's a fashion model and dresses like one. You know what I'm saying? Like, Julianna does for me in this series what I wish that every cast member did. Fits on point, okay? Those high-waisted leather pants, like ankle pants with those boots and that top, she just looked so chic, casual, yet classy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I also kind of loved the way she was like with Michael. I feel like their love is genuine. I feel like it's real. It's weird, right? Like when I see them hugged up on the couch. And I wish that her and Michael had more opinions about the other couples, but I understand why they didn't. You guys, I have a like pain in my chest, and so I'm trying to battle that as well. You see my eyes closing. So Victoria says, I don't believe Julianna. This is why, Victoria, why? I'll be waiting for your response. Why don't you believe Julianna? What is the reason for her to lie? Anyways, I'm just looking for a mirror. So that's them. Max and Cece come out. So Sarah comes out first. Sarah, I'm like, what is Sarah wearing? I wish that Julianna would help Sarah dress. And Sarah comes out and she's like seemingly really, really nervous. And she's giggling, and her and Julianna at some point hold hands, and Sean Robinson talks about that, and she says, why would her friends be upset with her? I can understand her family, but her friends. Oh, so you believe her family, but not her friends? Okay. Oh, all right. I mean, people get upset. People get upset and are petty. Oh, I'm glad that you don't have friends like that, because you don't know what it's like for friends to get upset about stuff that has nothing to do with them. Anyways, so Sarah comes out. I wish Julianna would dress her. And then Sean Robinson starts talking to Sarah about their relationship. And Julianna says that Sarah is like her big sister, which I thought was really lovely. And I just think that it's an admirable relationship. It really is. And for people who think that it is weird or they wouldn't be able to do it, I feel like if an olive branch has been given to you for your ex-husband's, from your ex-husband's wife, I mean, from your husband's ex-wife, I think that you not taking it or you harboring some kind of negativity or not feeling it, I feel like you're holding on and you're being negative for no reason. I think it's lovely. I think their relationship is lovely, and I don't see anything wrong with it, because looking at it from a bird's eye view, like, people should get along like that. So But maybe it's because I've never been in that situation. And also I know that Sarah's married. She's happily married. So why should they be at odds? Especially if Michael and Sarah broke up amicably. And it looks like they did. And that is the best thing that any divorced parents can do for their kids. The best thing. Max and Cece are fabulous. Like, Cece comes out, Max comes out. Max is in his pajamas. You know, he's dressed himself. He was like, no, I'm not wearing anything. That is uncomfortable. I am going to wear my PJs. Even the slippers, you know? And they basically said who they liked, which couples they liked, any advice. Max gave great advice, and then like looked at Max is like, maybe you should learn their language or be able to communicate with the foreigner. And then he looks at Anna and he's like, no offense, I'm sorry. And she's like, no, it's okay. And it was just really great. Cece said that she loves Mike and Natalie, that she thinks they're going to be great together. Tanya and Sinjin were Max's favorites, so that was really cute. So yeah, it was just like a really cute segment. And I think Sarah and Michael talking about why they got divorced, which I was happy they spoke about that. And basically Sarah was like, listen, I'm gonna let Mike tell it. And so Mike was like, didn't know how to explain himself, but basically he felt trapped in his relationship with Sarah, which I find so interesting. And so did Sarah. Sarah's like, because I feel like I let you do what you wanted to do. And he's just like, well, I wanted to travel and I wanted to do all these things. And I really didn't get down to the bottom of why being in a relationship with Sarah was different than being in a relationship with Julianna. Because it's not like he stayed a forever bachelor. So if I were Sarah, I would feel some kind of way if I didn't already find a partner. But yeah, like it's just not clear. Like, what's the difference? Because he still obviously has a relationship with Sarah. When Sarah came out, he got up and hugged her and gave her a kiss on the cheek. You know what I'm saying? So like, maybe he just wasn't a good husband to her. Maybe he wasn't a good partner to her. And either he's a good dad, but they weren't right for each other. And maybe he finally found that in Julianna. But if I were Sarah, I would feel some kind of way when he said that. Anything else happen with them? No, none that I can think of. All right, so let's move on. Quasi says midlife crisis, but yeah, I guess I would still feel some kind of way. 174 people in this room right now. I want to thank you guys so much for showing up. Only 37 likes, so if I can get some thumbs up, that'd be great. It's gonna help other people who are searching for 90 Day Fiancé tea find me. Let me get my mirror so I can do my makeup. That's the whole point of me sitting down here. I still have pain in my chest. Does anybody ever have that where, like, I don't know, it feels like it's in my lungs. It feels like a bubble, like a gas bubble, like maneuvering around in my veins or something. Because, like, I can feel it. And when I take deep breaths, it hurts. When I move, it hurts. And it's not a heart attack because I went to the doctor for it when I was younger. Sorry, you saw my boob. This is my house dress, okay? I'm living my life. Anyways, it's underneath my left boob. So that's why I keep holding there. Let's move on to Tanya and Sinjin. Tanya was crying. She looked so beautiful. I don't know if it was the HD. I don't know if it was the makeup. I don't know, but Tanya looked so beautiful in this tell-all. She was glowing. She was dark, like brown skinned, and it was just like, her skin was just so like perfect. I was really happy for her. So Tanya and Sinjin. Tanya like had a car accident and broke her foot or something. So she had a boot on, and basically they talked about her going to Costa Rica and why was that the appropriate time to go to Costa Rica. And then she basically cried. I mean, she was just crying about like the vitriol that she's getting from online. Robert jumped in to say, why would you say that he's not your soulmate? Tanya then doubled down and then tried to like explain that she's unclear what a soulmate is. And then everyone's like, yeah, if you're unclear what a soulmate is, that's fine. But then to say that someone else you were once with was now your soulmate, how does that add up? And she's just like, I don't know. Everybody has a different definition of soulmate. I don't know what the word means. And I'm just like, oh God, Tanya. Oh God. And then she defended herself a little bit. And then Sinjin actually supported her because she's basically said, I feel like the lighting is off. She basically said that he told her he was going to do all of these things and he didn't do them. And he admitted to doing that. He admitted to, you know, saying that he was going to look into this, look into that, and that he actually didn't. And so she's like, he promised me all these things and he's not holding up his end of the bargain. So that's why I'm upset. I'm not upset because like, oh, did I get a super chat for $2.99? Oh my God, thank you so much. I didn't even see it. Thank you so much for the super chat. 230 people in this room? Wowzers, you guys. We're talking about 90 Day Fiancé. I hope you're into 90 Day Fiancé because that's what we're talking about. And I'm getting ready for work. Okay, so, yeah. So he admits that he isn't doing all the things that he said he was going to do. He also admits the fact that he really does have PTSD from working in the mines. Like, he really does. He does not want to work a job that he doesn't love after 7 years of working in the mines. And so he's basically like, yeah, I guess I'll just get a whatever job, but there's a lot of things that I want to try. And then I was just like, well, then they asked him to sing opera. And then they all clapped. Or like, we're like, oh, okay. And I was like, no, stop talking about opera right now, because that is not something that you should pursue, sir. That is not something that you should pursue at all. He's not an opera singer. He's not even close. That was crazy. All right. And then what else did they talk about? They talked about their marriage and not quite knowing if marriage is something that they wanted. Also, they talked about having kids. And now, what's his name? Sinjin is like, I still really don't know if I want to have children yet. And I'm like, Sinjin feels like he doesn't want to have children because they don't have any money. That's what I think. I think that eventually he might be ready for it, but just not now. Desiree says with training, he could be better. I didn't hear any kind of like, I feel like he needs the kind of training that requires him to stop what he's doing right now and be training 5 days a week, which I can only imagine that costs money, you know, for him to train. And then would he even be successful? Would it be worth it? He's so old. But who knows? I don't want to stop him from living his dream. Okay, I didn't think he had a nice voice, so I was just like, no. Anything else with Tanya and Sinjin? To want or not want children is a deal breaker if you have to. Yeah, I really do feel like his like not knowing if they're gonna have children or not, it should be a red flag for Tanya, in my opinion. 95 likes, 255 people in this room. What I'm wearing right now, okay, look at my eyes. What I'm gonna put on right now is Glossier concealer. I think that the Glossier concealer just does the exact right thing. This is in color G1. I think it does just enough to make it look like I'm fully awake and wearing natural makeup. Do a side-by-side comparison to the other eye. Anything else about Tanya and Sinjin, you guys? Thanks, Seiko. Thanks for being my 100th like. I can't think of anything else. All right. Look at the difference. Tanya seems so sad when talking about the possibility of not having children with Sinjin. She does. Look at the difference. The rumors are that they are pregnant, says Lin J. Oh, Tanya and Sinjin are pregnant? Look at the difference between my eyes, you guys. Just that little bit of concealer. It's like crazy. You can see it, right? I can see it. One eye looks awake, one eye doesn't. Isn't that crazy? So if you're really into like a natural look on your face, I honestly suggest Glossier. I honestly suggest Glossier. Like, it just doesn't look as dark. You know what I'm saying? The like dark circles are gone. Yeah. And it's not thick at all. It's completely thin. And it's supposed to just like match your skin tone. So it's not supposed to change it or make it like lighter. It's just supposed to match. Okay, anyways, let's move on now that you guys have seen it and responded. So let's move on to Robert and Annie. So Robert and Annie, Robert actually looks so much better with his hair cornrowed, and I'm not normally a fan of cornrows on grown-ass men, but I was a fan of this. Annie looked beautiful. During their little beginning montage when they're just like walking around, he's talking about the red flags with Annie. Again, like he loves to use the term red flag when he talks about her and worrying about if she's here for the right reasons. And they both said that they have been arguing, but that's normal because the 90-day fiancé situation is hard to do and hard to manage. But they're working it out. I don't know how she loves Robert. I don't know what she sees in him. I don't know how she loves him. Maybe it's because at the end of the day, he, I don't know, says that he's going to defend her, but I don't feel like he really does a lot of the times. I feel like he is the reason why people attack her because he doesn't support her enough. But anyways, so they talk about Bryson and Bryson's grandmother. They talk about the used clothes store. They talk about, and I love how Robert doesn't want to admit that producers made him do the used clothes store. He was like, oh, it was a test. I just wanted to see, what she felt and if she was really here for the right reasons. And I was like, we all know that a producer told you to do that, so you did it. Like, it wasn't a test. It wasn't a joke. It wasn't a game. Like, you're just doing it for the ratings, which is fine. And I know why you didn't admit that that was what happened, but I thought it was just funny. So basically Sean Robinson asks him, so why did you take her to the consignment store? Why did you sign the lease when you knew that she was coming? And he's like, I didn't really know if she was coming or not. Like, so, and I didn't want to move Bryson out of the area that he was in because of, that's the school he's been going to for a long time. Oh my God. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you for the super chat. I totally appreciate it. And she's just like, no, Robert, there are 2-bedroom apartments in your neighborhood. Like, stop lying. And he didn't even go, oh yeah, you're right, babe. He just stayed quiet, which leads me to believe that of course he's lying. Like, he just wanted her to accept what he has. And he does not like to be called broke, girl. Then they were like, she's like, look, Annie says that she's already been with somebody before and it's not about the money. She had a rich man at some point in her life, but she wasn't happy. She was just drinking all day. And she's like, so I'm not with Robert for the money because Robert doesn't have any money. And Robert got real upset about that. And I'm like, you know what, Robert? Most people in America don't have money. Like, don't feel any kind of way about it. He's like living in Florida. First of all, he doesn't live in New York City, where he grew up. He doesn't live in California. He lives in Florida, where the cost of living is cheaper. The cost of living is cheaper. I think that I don't know what the minimum wage is, but I know that the cost of living in Florida is cheaper than it is in California. And so he's like, I pay 2 car notes. I do this, I do that. I pay for Bryson's school. I pay my rent. I got money. I just don't like to give it out. And she's like, what money? Where money? And I'm like, well, the thing is that now that you're married, it's her money now too. So if she doesn't know how much money you have in the bank, you're not necessarily being the best husband. And I'm just like, Robert, I got money. No, you don't, Robert. No, you don't. He takes care of his kids. I was like, no, you don't. There is no way. No way. Annie also talks about the fact that she might have some kind of problem conceiving because she's 30 years old and doesn't have kids. And the fact that Stephanie, which is Porn Granny, came out and asked her what kind of birth control she was on was wildly inappropriate. To ask her if she wanted to have kids was wildly inappropriate, because you never know what's going on with a woman, and to assume that a woman is, to make any kind of assumptions about a woman's womb or what she wants is kind of rude, right? And so she mentions that, and I thought that that was a great thing for her to say, and a vulnerable thing for her to say, that, you know, she wants kids and she doesn't, so why not assume that something is going on? Which, yeah, I totally see it. Then they talk to Stephanie and Stephanie's husband, who gets upset, and they stop filming. They do some kind of dramatic nonsense. I mean, Stephanie still doubled down. You would think that she would be like, you know what, that was all for the show. I really do like Annie. You know, we get along. But no, that they go launching in on... Okay, tell me if this was clear to you guys. Something happened where Robert had a house fire. He and the baby were... Hi, Amsterdam. Or Rotterdam. Hey. He and the baby were displaced because of an apartment fire. And Robert's family in Atlanta had to take Bryson until he could figure out a place to live. So he was like homeless for 2 months. And during that time, Stephanie nor the husband opened up their house to take Bryson in. And then he's like, the story goes deep and it goes dark. And I'm like, is that it? Like, what else happened? It was so weird. It was like, it was just so weird. And then Stephanie and her husband getting upset and shutting the camera off. It was weird too. It was like, are you guys hiding something? Did something go down and you didn't take Bryson when you should have? And you're saying that, you know, that Robert is a fertile myrtle, and that they want to know what Robert is going to do if Annie gets pregnant, because then that's going to take money away from Bryson. And I'm like, that is, I mean, it's true in the purest sense. Oh my God, Candy, thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Wow, thank you so much. I'm blown away. I also still have chest pain, but I'm still blown away. It's true what Stephanie is saying, but it is also like crazy that you would say that on national television as though that should stop Robert from having more kids with Annie. Like, we don't want Robert to, sorry, something was in my eye. We don't want Robert to have more kids because that's going to mean that he's not going to be able to take care of Bryson as much. But what does that have to do with you? You're not taking Bryson. And even so, like, if you were really concerned about that, then use some of your thousands of dollars that you make per video and give it to Bryson so that he can have the lifestyle you think he deserves, even if his dad continues to have more children. It was very odd. It was an odd argument. And I felt like they must have cut some stuff out, because Robert was talking about how they hurt him via Bryson, and I don't understand what they did. And I don't understand his reason for getting up and turning off the camera. I don't understand. Does anyone understand? Does anyone like get what happened? Like, what did I miss? Is there something going? I didn't get it. Why doesn't Bryson's grandparents step up financially? That's my thing. And I don't think they want to. So instead of them just saying, you know what, if, you know, we don't want to have to give you money because really this is our daughter's choice. We don't want to have to give you money for our grandson. I just don't get it. But so they want to check him to see what he's doing, so to make sure that he stays financially fit enough to provide their grandson a certain way of life. I just don't understand. Their argument was so bizarre to me. Robert saying, you know, money doesn't grow out on trees, and it sure doesn't fall out of my ass. Like, hey, shut up, Robert. You're the one who told her all this stuff. I think that's it. That's all what that happened with Annie and Robert, right? Also, Annie made a comment when they were talking about Marcel and Anna that she doesn't tell her parents that Robert has a lot of children. So she understands why Marcel didn't tell his family, or if they do decide to get a surrogate, that he isn't going to. She's like, listen, what they don't know will not hurt them. Okay. Next couple, let's talk about Marcel and Anna. So they touch on the fact that Marcel was able to get his visa back so quick, and all the couples were like, yeah, that's crazy that you were able to do that. And basically, nobody called out what's-her-face for lying about her children. And you would think they would, seeing as how the internet had so much to say about Anna not telling Marcel's parents about her kids. But nobody really said anything about it. Nobody questioned her. The only thing was that Joey is being weird. And they were like, well, it's because he's used to being the man of the house. And Marcel coming there, changed that dynamic. So that could definitely be the reason why he isn't forthcoming with information. But otherwise, the way the internet hated Anna over this, I think that somebody would say more, because I feel like more people chimed in about Tanya and Sinjin than Marcel and Anna. See, and I guess I really don't feel as much sympathy for the boys as the rest of the world does. So, what's it? From what I've heard, Bryson's mom and Robert lived together, and she was arrested for domestic violence against Robert. She's also abusing illegal drugs. Oh, you guys are still talking about them. Okay. So, yeah, I don't think that we talk that much about Marcel and the fact that he hid it. I really wish that Sean Robinson would have asked Marcel why he lied about when he found out she had kids. Like, that's what I wish that Sean Robinson would have done. Sometimes I feel like it gets too awkward, and she doesn't want to offend the cast. But isn't that her job, is to ask those questions that we've been all thinking? Like, I don't know. She doesn't ask those hard-hitting questions. Marcel had an interpreter in his ear, so he was able to better join the conversation. And then they show her bachelorette party. Sorry, I'm covering my face. They show her bachelorette party. And then Sean asks, Marcel, are you surprised at what Anna said to her friends? And Marcel's like, no, American culture is to talk about sex in public. So he's starting to get used to American culture. He's starting to get used to all of that. And so that's nice. But I just feel like Anna was uncomfortable the whole time. Did anyone get that Anna was just like uncomfortable? And I could tell. It was so weird. I'm not sure why everyone bags on Marcel. A lot of drama seems to stem from Anna handling everything, not so much Marcel's behavior, in my opinion. Yeah, I personally don't think Marcel is to blame in this at all. I think that Anna's the one with the kids and everything to lose. And she's the one that people are going to judge because of that. I think his is just culture, personally. But I know everybody was upset with Marcel, like he was orchestrating something. And I was like, Marcel doesn't seem like he could orchestrate anything. Anna's not happy with him. She's just desperate for a man. How do you know that? They look pretty happy to me. What else happened with them? I can't think of anything else that happened with them, so let's move on. Who was sitting on the other side of them? Mike and Natalie. So Mike and Natalie, I mean, it was all very confusing. We don't know what he actually did besides spend the night at his best friend's house and tell her that spend the night at a good friend, female friend's house, and then tell her about it. And then she got upset because he spent the night at another woman's house without her husband being there. And he's the one who confessed. He came home and was like, hey, I spent the night at, let's call her Jolene. I spent the night at Jolene's house for her bachelorette, and her husband was supposed to be there, But he ended up not staying. He went out with his boys. So she feels like she needs Mike to be Christian because as an atheist, she can't believe him. But if he were Christian, she would believe him. I don't understand that at all. It was very confusing for me. And it was just weird. I mean, he was that woman's best man, and he went over to her house to hang out with her. And then he found out that he was just going to spend the night. I just don't, like, I don't understand this natural distrust of men and women being friends. I have male friends, and like, I would love it for someone to trust me if I were to, like, I guess have a sleepover is a weird thing to say, but if I had a guy friend spend the night, and I have had that. I have had a guy friend spend the night. He slept on the floor, and have people be like, "Oh, you had a man in the room," and I'm like, yeah. I don't understand. I don't understand why men and women can't just be friends. But I know a lot of people who don't believe that is possible. Also, a married man, I don't think a married man should necessarily do that, but also, like, she's not married to him. And apparently the girl ended up calling Natalie and telling Natalie that Mike isn't going to ever marry her, which is the weird part. That was the weird part. Is like, why would she call Natalie at all? Why would she even have Natalie's number? So I think that's why Natalie was distrusting of the situation, but I don't know why. I just don't understand. I think that's one of my blind spots when it comes to relationships, is I don't understand certain, like, dynamics and why they're wrong or bad or shouldn't happen. But basically, Natalie says that she can't tell Mike that she loves him. They all kind of judge Mike for believing in aliens, and it's Mike's fault for the way that he says it. He's like, I think aliens are gods. No, Mike, don't say that. Just say that you believe that there's a higher power out there, but you're not going to pray to them. You just believe that they exist, which is nothing wrong with believing that they exist. It's logical to believe that we are not the only sentient beings in this universe. It's logical. Where are we at? We're at 37 minutes. Okay. Anyone else has anything to say about Natalie and Mike? They were kind of boring. We didn't get any answers. She didn't want to say whether or not she loved Mike. Angela was confused the whole time. Angela was like, girl, what, do you love him or not? We're just sitting here waiting and we don't know. It's so funny that because of the way that Angela behaves on tell-alls normally. Oh. Echo. Stop alarm. The way that Angela behaves on tell-alls normally, like, I would expect her to not have anything to say about anybody because she wants everybody to mind their own business when it comes to her and Michael. But she was actually quite pleasant on this episode until it got to her and the goofballs. So I was just like, okay, goofballs. Like, the goofballs just went in. They don't want to be friends with Michael at all, okay? They don't want to be friends with Michael at all. They were calling Angela trashy, which is all so true. All so true. I want to know, like, where did they learn that? Where did they learn to call her trashy? Like, how do they know that that is, like, who she is? Like, it's so weird. So anyways, yeah, Angela and Michael. So it's heartbreaking. Michael started crying again about the fact that he didn't get the K1 visa. Angela is, you know, she actually looked pretty good. Like, the lighting on her was good. The Botox did her well. And it was interesting. The goofballs got on there, and that's when she behaved. She got up and started acting crazy, talking about her and Michael were going to leave the set unless the goofballs left the screen. And so Sean Robinson had to jump in, and, like, producers jumped in, and they took the goofballs off. And Michael actually got up. She was like, come on, Michael. And she got up to leave. Michael got up to leave, and then they sat back down after the goofballs were taking off the screen. And they really don't want to be friends with Michael because obviously Michael loves Angie baby. And so it was weird. Oh, you guys, I have an announcement to make. Now that we're 39 minutes in, Chris and I will be doing hosting a comedy show in Arizona with David and Annie. So David and Annie, because they really liked the show that we had in Irvine, or that they were a part of in Irvine, they decided to work with another production company, and now they are doing a comedy show and a meet and greet and like a dance party in Arizona on March 7th. I don't know. All the information is on my phone, but I'll definitely post it and talk about it some more before it happens. So if any of you guys are in Arizona, or if any of you guys are like in California or something and you want to have a little weekend in Arizona, March 7th, it's Chris's birthday, March 7th. So like, it's going to be so much fun because I have to like plan stuff for us to do in Arizona for her birthday weekend. So if you guys want to be there, a dance party is going to be I'm so excited. I love dancing so much. So it's a comedy show and I'm hosting it and so is Chris. We're co-hosting it. So we're not quite sure how it's going to go. She has a whole set planned. I don't have a set planned because I'm not a stand-up comedian, but I'm going to have to come up with some kind of interim, like in between the acts. Like, hey, you know this person from blah, blah, blah. My name is blah, 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 blah. It's a jokey joke, improv joke situation. So yeah, this is like really fun for us. Like we're being flued out. We're getting flued out and we're, you know, getting to work in our craft. So it's exciting. It's exciting for me. I'm like, ooh, I could put this on my resume. I used one of my fancy headshots on the flyer that was given to us. And stay tuned. I put the information on Instagram. They live in Scottsdale, Arizona. I think it's in Phoenix, but it's on my phone, which is what I'm using to record this on. So I don't know. Sorry. It's dumb. I know. But I'm going to post it on here and I'm going to post it on Instagram. So you guys will definitely be able to get the details. So yeah, March 7th. I'm in a show, a comedy show. Okay. So who else is there? We talked about them. Angela and Michael. That's it. I think that's it. Do you guys have anything else you want to say? For those of you guys who are not watching this live, thank you so much for bearing with this. Get ready with me and all of these and all of these like pauses. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Okay. Now for you guys that are in the room. What do you guys have to say? Hi, Marsha. Oh, Nicole, how's my bae? Oh, non-existent. That's done, girl. That is Dunsky Bobunsky. He got, he like wanted to be realistic is what he used. He's like, I'm a simple guy. I think he just realized that it wasn't going to work. And instead of him telling me how he felt and why it wasn't going to work, he just decided that he needed time and space because he was going to be busy with school. And I said, all we have is time and space because we don't live next to each other. And Fee, thank you so much. $3.99, thank you. I have my cup here too. Thank you. Thank you for my super chat. So anyways, yeah, I just was like, and this happened right like before the holidays. So he was being standoffish and weird. Like normally he calls me or video chat me every day. Even if he knows I'm at work, even if he knows I'm on my way to sleep, he's just like, oh, hello, you know, and we have like a weird, like broken English, broken Spanish conversation. And then, one day it stopped. Like he didn't contact me, then didn't contact me the next day. So then I like video chatted him. He didn't respond. He didn't call me back. And then he was like, then a couple days later, he's like, oh, I'm busy. And I'm like, I know what's happening. I know what's happening. So, oh, is it gas? The chest pain in my chest is gas? Oh, anyways, so I will try gases. I hate it. Yeah, so he just like did that. And then, I called him out on it and he did one of those things like, oh, I loved it. While it was happening, I was so like, it was like two Wahamas, the Wahama who was in it and feeling it and upset. And then there was the Wahama on the outside that was just like, I see what's happening here. He did like one of like, you know, I'm not upset. I hope you're not upset. but you know, I'm just a simple guy, and I have to be realistic, and you know, your family was checking up on me, and I don't like that. Like, I'm not using you to come to the States. Like, I'm not using you to come to the money for the money. Like, you know, I'm just me. I love my family. I'm just like, you know, it's not gonna work. And I was like, oh, so, but I was like, you know, I couldn't say your attitude is whatever, because the translation isn't going to be right. So I was like, oh, okay, great, be well. And then I hung up, right? And then I think like a couple of weeks later, he tried to reach out to me again, because I had asked him, like, you know, what's Christmas celebration like for you? And he was like, we were just with family. And I was like, I understand you're with family, but is there any specific traditions, anything that Guatemalans do? Like, and he was like, just hang out with family. So I was like, oh, wow. Oh, you're being a dick. Okay. I got it. I understand what's happening now. So now, though, he's like, when are you coming? And I'm like, I had a boyfriend, but he dumped me, so I'm not coming. And then he's like, oh, I just want you to know that I was just trying to be realistic. Like, the tone changed. The words were still the same, but the tone changed. And he was like, I just want to want you to know you always have a friend here in me, that we're not enemies, and that if you ever come here, like, I want us to be friends. And I'm like, it's fine. Do not worry. Do not worry. My problem was the way it came off. If he was really feeling like this wasn't going to work, and the truth is it wasn't. Okay? It wasn't. He's too much into his life in Guatemala and his family and everything to come to the US and start all over again. And I wouldn't want that for him. I didn't want him to come to the US. I wanted to go there because I just want to be somewhere simple. I'm tired. I'm weary. And so I was like, yeah, I didn't want you to come here. You're the one who said that it would be better if you came here. I'm not trying to take you from your simple life. I'm trying to go to the simple life. But anyways, so that was that. And like, I still check in with him. He still checks in with me. He mainly checks in with me. And I talked to my uncle about it, and my uncle's like, yeah, well, I mean, don't worry about it. If he wants to stay in that village, let him stay in the village. And I was like, yeah, I'm not worried about it at all. I was just like ready for something different. So, but anyways, Tiana, can you block progamer? Tiana or Linjay, can you block progamer? I can't. Can I? Oh, I can. Haha. Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for doing them. Oh, Blake and Jasmine. I forgot about them. They're so, oh my God. Blake and those contacts. Did he think he was like a vampire in Brooklyn? Like, why did he come there with blue contacts? Oh my God. I don't like Blake so much. And I hate that I don't like him. It's just like Walmart Cisco. Like, guys, oh God. And like, his friends to me had a good point, and they didn't even, Sean Robinson didn't even go in on Jasmine, and Jasmine's just like, I'm so uncomfortable. Like, there's a scene where she says that she's uncomfortable sitting in the circle and talking to the other cast members. And why can't we go in on that? Like, I want to know. It was just so much wrong that I don't have anything to say. It was like, I was so mad at his contacts, I could not even pay attention to anything else. I was like, this man got on national television with bleached blonde hair and blue contacts and a like smoking jacket or like a blazer or something. And he's sitting next to her, who again is wearing the most basic, I mean, I thought her dress was a cute color, but I wish I had been able to see her outfit. And she just held on to him, and they didn't had no comments. And it's like, why did he put her on this show? She shouldn't be on the show. Like, she's so socially awkward. She doesn't try. He says that she does go out to clubs, and then she's like, I'll hang out with your friends as long as we hang out during the day. And then that she tries really hard with Blake, but Blake doesn't try to do her things. I guess yoga and green tea. Like, it was so boring. And what producer chose them for this show? What producer chose them for this show is my question. So dumb. Wow, 398 people in this room, 173 likes. I loves it. I loves it. All right, you guys. So that's the end. I'm finished with my makeup. I'm going to put earrings on. It's going to be real cute. All right, what else are you guys going to talk about? We're at 51 minutes. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Lynn J. All right, well, that's it, you guys. I don't want to hold you guys up any longer. I hope that I was able to get you guys through getting ready for work as well. Or if you're at work. What time is it? Who knows? Who knows what time it is? Oh, I can ask. Echo, what time is it?
The time is 8:43 a.m.
Okay.
Enjoy your morning.
Thank you. I changed her name from Alexa to Echo because you'd be surprised how many commercials have the word Alexa in it. How many, like, even like when it's like Toyota, Alexis, like, she would go off all the time. So having her name be Echo means that nobody would say it. I'm not talking to you.
I don't know that.
I wasn't talking to you. You can go back to sleep. But anyways, so that's why I did that. Okay, that's it, you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. You should really watch Love is Blind. I'm going to talk about it. I filmed not last week's episode of Love After Lockup, but the week before that. It's filmed. This week I have to film it. And then, so I'll have videos up later on this week. But yeah, I love you guys too. Love is Blind is so great. I went live on Instagram. You guys really should follow me on Instagram at Just Call Me Wah, because last night I went live on Instagram and talked about Love is Blind. And what's great about Instagram is that I can invite people in the live, and I interacted with 3 cool ladies and I loved it. I think maybe 3 or 4. And I love that. I would love to do that with you guys. I wish YouTube had that, where like you guys could come in and interact, or at least like I could, they're adding a phone call like way on, why am I can't speak. Okay. So YouTube is adding a way, a program. They're adding some kind of software where you are able to do like a call in on a live show, like a podcast call in. And so that would be really dope if they did like a video format of that, where I could be live and you guys could call in and we could discuss it, as opposed to me reading the comments, you know? So what I did last night is I talked about Love is Blind. I picked a couple and I said, whoever wants to get on with me right now and talk about it, let's talk about it. So you're watching me have conversations with subscribers, with followers, and we just talk about this thing we like. And I think that it would be really cool to do that for 90 Day Fiancé as well on Instagram. The only problem with Instagram is when I go live, there's no way for me to caption or title what I'm talking about, right? So people come in and they're like, what are you talking about? And it's like weird. So I wish that Instagram Live I could put hashtag Love is Blind or hashtag 90 Day Fiancé, and then it might reach out to everybody who follows the 90 Day Fiancé or the Love After Lockup hashtag, or the Love is Blind hashtag. That way everybody like who watches the show could join in, you know? That's what I wish it would do for me in my analytics. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing that on Instagram. So follow me on Instagram, you guys. Just call me Wa. And that way you can join all of my lives. All right, you guys. They don't pay you on Instagram. They don't. But having more people being visible, like people knowing who I am, creates currency in its own way. So if I get more followers on Instagram, then I can get more sponsorships on Instagram. That way I can put up sponsored things on Instagram. And also if I'm like the full videos on YouTube, everybody goes on YouTube. Like everybody has a YouTube account. So it'll be easier for me to get them onto YouTube to find me. So I wish it did that. Okay, you guys, that's it. I'm rambling. I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye.